marketing consultant at stuntdouble.com, and today I'm going to tell you about 6 backlink checks you should do right now, how to keep a healthy backlink profile through a series of checks. And those 6 checks are going to be the root linking domain check, the anchor text check, the site-wide link check, the authority distribution check, the link diversity check, and the link velocity check. So a lot of checking we're going to have going on here. So first and foremost, or to start with, we're going to do the root linking domains check. The root linking domains is to look at the number of sites that you have that have at least one link to you. So if they have more than one link to you, it still counts as one root linking domain. But it's one of the most powerful indicators historically with regards to search engine optimization factors, and you need to know if these root linking domains are actually passing link juice and how they're passing link juice, the authority associated with those, etc. So how we're going to check that is most usually the Open Site Explorer or the SEO Moz toolbar or the SEO book toolbar, and we're going to see what you call root linking domains or unique linking domains they're sometimes called, and you really have to monitor this to make sure that you don't have too many of these that are sending negative signals, as we talked about in the Penguin update presentation. So you want to run some of these tools and get some idea of, out of these root linking domains, how many are indexed by the search engines, how many aren't. Here's a little tutorial on doing that, but those root linking domains are going to be a very important factor, so we need to see if there's too many of them that may be harmful or negative. So if you have 1,000 links and 200 of them are from really spammy sites, from article directories and forum spam and comment spam, and none of those sites are indexed anymore, if 20% of your links aren't indexed, that's a pretty negative signal that you're not getting the right kind of links, and Google's probably going to ding you for that. So we want to know if that's accidentally happening or if somebody had worked on your site in the past, and if it's something that you need to fix. So with Google de-indexing all of these thousands of pages, you need to make sure that it's not some of these other reasons, that maybe there's expired content or an expired domain or accidental de-indexation due to technical issues. But we want to check these root linking domains and have some idea of where your site is at with this number and with the quality and value of these root linking domains. So another way to find this, the Net Peak Checker has a very good tool. SEO tools for Excel. A lot of times as an SEO, you really just have to dive into Excel, take some of these tutorials that are written at SEO Moz or other blogs, and apply those to your strategy by looking at your links. Import that link profile or put it into one of the great tools like LinkDex or Raven tools, and start doing some of that analysis between those tools, between Excel and between some of these other SEO tools that we use. So the next check we're going to do is the anchor text check. With the anchor text check, we want to check how people are linking to our site. So this has become an issue because SEOs went out and really heavily optimized their anchor text, and this was a big part of the Penguin update, was kind of penalizing these people that over-optimized their anchor text. So anchor text is what you see in the hyperlink when people click to come to your site. Usually it might be click here, it might be your website name, it might be your targeted keywords, but you want to make sure that not too much of your anchor text is targeted to your specific keywords, because it might look, as Google says, over optimized. This is where I like to say it's SEO like the Price is Right Showcase Showdown. You need to be closest to the right number or to the right amount of anchor text without going over. If you go over, you get penalized, you get filtered, and you fall into no man's land. But you do need some amount of optimized anchor text, but you just have to be rather strategic in how you do that and not get carried away. So in order to do this anchor text check, we're going to look at how people link to us. Are they using the exact match targeted keywords? Are they using some variation of that, a partial match or a broad match? Are they using your keyword and your brand terms? Are they using your brand terms with your keywords? Are they using image links? Are they using generic anchor text like click here, this site, check this out? So all of these things, you need a healthy mix of all these things in order to have a natural website backlink profile and a healthy backlink profile. So in order to do this, We're going to look at something, again, like Open Site Explorer. We're going to export our anchor text information into Excel and start playing around with the ratios and how much of each of these types of anchor text other sites are linking to us with. So you start to get a feel for, hey, this may or may not be too much anchor text based on digging into your link profile deeper. So there's another great tutorial here at SEO Moz, how to survive the unnatural link warnings. Through previous to Penguin, there were lots of warnings that went out that said, hey, we think you're doing something that's over optimized with your off-page optimization strategy. Those warnings came through Google Webmaster Tools. And if you had kind of sum of anchor text that looked like this with only exact match anchors linking to your site, you probably got this. You need to have some brand, URL, image, brand keywords, broad match keywords, variations, links into your deep areas that aren't just for those targeted money commercial keywords. Otherwise, you're really gonna take a hit. So you can be creative with your anchor text variation. You can still use those keywords, but you have to be aware of how much you're using each of them, where you're using them, the authority, the different types of links involved with your off-page SEO strategy. You can get a free worksheet to do this and check this out from Open Site Explorer, and this link below here. Import your Open Site Explorer data into that, and you'll have some idea of just how much of your anchor text is flowing through different words. The recent Penguin update had lots of changes and filters associated with anchor text, so you really need to be aware of what your anchor text backlink profile looks like and the distributions of that. So run this test. There are some case studies out there. If you're having trouble with Penguin, this is one of the very first checks you should be doing is, are we over-optimized with our anchor text? If you see a distribution like this, you can see the comparison of these two. The sites that were penalized had very, very high ratios of exact inbound anchors. So you need to balance that out somehow and in order to fix that problem. So be sure to check your anchor text. The next check we're going to do is the site-wide link check. What a site-wide link is when they are placed on every single page of a website. So if I have stuntdouble.com, it's linking to every single page, or every page on stuntdouble.com is linking to or just any page on marketmotive.com. That would be an external site-wide link. If I'm linking to myself, that would be an internal site-wide link. Both of these can become an issue. Internal, a little bit less so than external. External site-wide links, you can really, really shoot your foot off really quickly with using this tool if you're not using it appropriately. If you're getting site-wide links from every time you get a link, you're probably going to get banned sooner or later. So you need to be aware of these. They're not inherently bad or wrong, but you just can't have lots of these. Blog roll links are a perfect example of a site-wide link that's perfectly fine. Unfortunately, they were very powerful, so they were manipulated as well. And with that comes the filters from the search engines, because they don't want people exploiting those weaknesses in the algorithm. There's a few the easiest and quickest way to check this is through Webmaster Tools. So you log into Webmaster Tools for your website, click on your site tab, and then traffic, then links to your site, and you will see something like this. If you see lots of links from one single site, these are probably site-wide links. So log in there, check this out. If you have a lot of those and you have too many of these where they're coming from a lot of links from one single site or really large sites, you might want to contact those people and say, hey, can you just link to me on one page? Maybe create a pre-sale page. Just work around that a little bit and make sure that you're not using your targeted anchor text throughout these, because it's a great way to skew that anchor text that we talked about earlier. Another way you can do this is through Majestic Tools. There's a few options in here. Switch to the historic index in the Site Explorer bar. And you'll need a subscription for this one, but you can see, you can find those sites that maybe have run a site links to you with low Alexa rank, which means they don't have a lot of traffic, which means you're probably not getting a lot of click-through on those links, which means Google's probably seeing that as a negative signal that you're trying to manipulate your website rankings with these site-wide links. So make sure to check those out. That is the site-wide link check. And the next thing we're going to look at is the authority distribution check. how many high profile links do you have versus low profile links? What is link popularity? Well, we cover that in a lot of places, synonymous with link juice, link value, link equity, high page rank, high Moz rank, high domain rank, domain authority. All of these things are very similar, if not synonymous. So how we're going to check this is through SEO Moz. We're going to go to Open Site Explorer. We're going to look at our page authority here, and then we're going to import this into Excel with some instructions from Dr. Pete. Dr. Pete is going to give us some information on profiling using Open Site Explorer, and we'll look at just how many links of certain authority types that we have from each of these ranges. A natural link profile looks a little something like this. You're going to have a high amount of linking domains for low profile, and it's going to get smaller, and you're going to have a few high profile links from big sites if you've done something great. Now, if you're trying to manipulate, you probably don't have a lot of high profile links, or you probably don't have a lot of low profile links rather, or you don't have the proper curve. There's kind of, again, it's like the Price is Right. You need to be close but not going over and not sending any of these negative signals. So if you have lots of too many low value links or too many high value links, either one of these can send a negative signal that says, hey, they're trying to manipulate their off-page optimization, and therefore we're gonna filter them. So run this check through Dr. Pete. You can get a graph like this and make sure it's kind of a normal looking curve, and check out these links. What you can see from all of these health checks is you need to be very aware of your backlink profile. More and more so with the changes that are made, it's very granular how Google handles links and and different link types. So you need to be aware of what you're out there getting, what type of link acquisition you're doing, and if you or your SEO or agency or whomever has done low quality link building in the past, you're probably suffering the consequences now, and we'll need to do these health checks and then make the appropriate changes. So the next thing we're going to do is the link diversity check. I like to say that links are to SEOs what snow is to Eskimos. We have lots of different ways to describe a single backlink. So there's another video called the 12 different types of links and how to get them. Here's all those links. I'm not going to go into those now, but you can see there's very, very different types of links that are associated with any website. And when we talk about something like link diversity or balancing your link profile, if your site had all reciprocal links, even 5 years ago, 8 years ago, 10 years ago, reciprocal links were working, all of a sudden one day they changed a filter and they said, okay, you can't have 80% reciprocal links. You need to dial that back and get just one-way links. If you had 10,000 links from just 10 unique linking domains, you probably need to reduce that number of site-wide links you have. If all your links are going to a homepage, you need to get links into your sub-pages. If all of your links are identical anchor text, you need to get links with different anchor text, et cetera, et cetera. And this slide's actually from about 8 years ago. So, we've been educating people on balancing the link profile for a long time. But when some of these tools were working, like site-wide links, people just decided to do them anyway. And I think now you're paying the price, but there is still the opportunity to change and remedy these problems that you've created through these series of link checks and knowing more about your link profile. The number one rule is keep it natural. Make it look natural. You want your website to look like it grew naturally and beautifully in the wild, and not like it was planted by a gardener and optimized for space and maximum viewing pleasure. So keep it natural is the number one rule. If a website without an optimizer or without somebody doing proactive online marketing, that's what you want to strive for, is what their link profile looks like. So that's the number one rule that we keep in mind as an SEO with regards to backlink profiles. So you have to concentrate on this natural link distribution, not getting more of any single type of link. What does that look like? Well, Google can figure this out. If you have 50% directory links, and these are courtesy of Meme Burn here, these images here, but if you have all directory links or all a certain type of links, they're going to see this, and this is going to be a unhealthy link profile that's out of balance. What you want is different types of links, a variety of different types of links that would occur. That every one of these types of links occurs, so one of them by themselves or a little bit of some is never a bad thing. But when you start combining them or when you start just creating links from one type of strategy and doing that too aggressively and not kind of spreading throughout all of these different types of links, that's when you run into problems. So the tools you're going to use here, again, Open Site Explorer, the Link Detective is another nice one to check this out. Finally, we have the link velocity check. This one's not overly important, but with recent changes, there's the possibility that if you're not watching your link profile, someone else can sign you up for bad services and tank your rankings. We have been seeing this happen. It's called negative SEO or Google bowling. Unfortunately, it's just the way things are right now. I think there will be changes to that, but you have to keep an eye out for that so this doesn't happen. If you see an excessive amount of backlinks appearing in a short amount of time, this could be somebody trying to Google bowl or do negative SEO to your website. It's pretty rare unless you're in a very highly competitive niche, but you don't want to be growing too fast to show this either. It's always great to get your content out there to get links, but you want to make sure that they're the right kind of links and that it's done naturally. If you're out there spamming blogs or forums or whatever else, your link profile is going to look like this, and it's going to send big red flags to Google, and you're not going to rank for very long. So this graph was done with Ahrefs. Another great one you can check it with is Majestic SEO. Their graph looks a little bit like this. Lots of other tools you can do all of these checks with to check the amount of backlinks to your profile and do some of these various different checks. Some of these guys have specific tools for each of these different types, but you need to understand what's going on. You need to understand your backlink profile, and that's why this education and this understanding is the most valuable tool in this process. So we looked at root linking domains, anchor text, checking site-wide links, authority distribution checks, link diversity checks, and link velocity check. These are very important checks that you will always need to do with regards to understanding your backlink profile and keeping it healthy. Thanks for joining me.